Ever wondered why grass is so green? I mean, why isn't it red or yellow or even purple?
Well, that's because it produces a green pigment called chlorophyll.
Floral what?
Chlorophyll. Let me just Google it. Okay, I got it. It's found in chloroplasts that are in plant cells. Chlorophyll absorbs blue light that's at high energy but short wavelengths, and red light that's at long wavelengths but are low energy. This causes them to reflect green light, that making it have a green color.
Oh, now I remember reading an article about those. Chlorophyll has another very important function, photosynthesis. Sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water are converted into glucose, also known as food for the plant, and oxygen, right? But can it be found in human cells too?
Yeah, that's correct. In addition to that, sugars that are then transported to the mitochondria and organelle in cells, where they're converted into usable energy to fuel the cell's activity. And about your last question, they're not found in human cells. We're not green, are we?
I wish we were here. It is my favorite color, but wait. How do plants turn red and orange in autumn? Does the chlorophyll die? Do the chloroplasts disappear from the south? What happens?
Those are really good questions. How about we go to the biology center so we can get some answers?
Yes!
A biologist can explain this much better than me.
That's true.
Welcome to the Science Center. What can I help you with?
Well, my daughter had some questions about chloroplasts in plants, so I was wondering if you could help.
Oh yeah, sure.
I was wondering how plants turn red and orange in the fall. I know they have chloroplasts, which help keep them green, but then what happens?
Well, as winter comes closer, the amount of light and water available for photosynthesis begins to decrease and start to shut down their food-producing factories, so they live off food stored from the summer.
That's kind of like what ants do in the winter. So how do the green leaves turn into red and orange leaves?
Chlorophyll disappears temporarily from the leaves, causing the bright green to fade into yellow and orange in some leaves, or like the maple leaf into bright red or even purple, since the glucose becomes trapped in the leaves after photosynthesis comes to a stop.
Also, a combination of sunlight and cool winter nights cause the glucose to turn a reddish color, but brown leaves occur from the waste left over.
It all makes sense now, but I have another question. If plants need to absorb energy from the sun to make photosynthesis, how do they get water and nutrients?
What I remember from biology class is there's two different systems to help the plants obtain water. There was the shoot system and the root system. The roots of plants absorb water, which contains minerals. They're absorbed by roots' hairs, which are tiny extensions of the root.
These substances are transported into the root by a process called osmosis. I have a poster over here about osmosis. And later on, they are transferred into the xylem with the help of endodermis. The blue molecules over here are the water molecules, and the purple big oval-shaped ones are the glucose.
Wait, I'm a little bit confused. How do the water particles and the other substances move up from the root into the plant against the force of gravity?
Well, that is due to root pressure. At night, when transpiration is low and the soil is moist, it is created.
Wait, but what if the leaves are on top of a really tall tree? How do the waters and minerals still get up there?
Well, that's the tricky part. You see, root pressure can't force water and all the minerals all the way up the tree. Instead, the transpiration is responsible for pulling water and minerals up from the roots.
What's transpiration?
Well, see, that's a good question. I have a poster about this to explain it better. And here's the poster. The transpiration is basically when liquid water changes into water vapor, and this water will be used during photosynthesis because it must evaporate. More room for water to move into leaves from the xylem, pulling the column up by root cells, will be made.
Also, there are two properties of water to help the water move against gravity. They're called cohesion and adhesion.
I learned about that in the science club. Adhesion is the tendency of water particles to stick to other substances, similar to when you drink a glass of water and water droplets stick to the top of the glass. The word adhere means to stick, and adhesion also resists gravity.
That's right. And cohesion is the ability of water molecules to stick to each other, so it's basically water sticking to itself.
It's sunny outside. Can you show me how photosynthesis works in plants?
That's a great idea. Let's go outside. Grab your jackets, though.
Thanks. See you outside.
Okay, bye.
Because of chloroplasts, and plants photosynthesize. But can you explain to me how photosynthesis works exactly?
Yeah, sure.
The whole process of photosynthesis is to produce glucose, which is combined with other molecules to produce sucrose and other carbohydrates.
Yes, and when the starch is needed, it is removed from storage and moved back to plant organs because starch can't be transported by the stem and it isn't soluble in water.
Therefore, it must be transformed back into sucrose, where it then dissolves into water, creating sap.
Is sap.
Well, that's a good question. Sap is the extra glucose or sugar stored in plants. In the fall, sap is usually stored in plant tissues or is stored in the roots as starch.
In the spring, the stored starch gets converted back into glucose. That's why maple syrup is mainly collected in the spring.
Why does the starch convert back to glucose?
Because in the spring, the plants, such as trees, need to feed their many growing buds, which eventually grow into leaves and that can start performing photosynthesis on their own.
And again, in the fall, the excessive amount of glucose produced becomes starch and stored for next spring. It's a cycle that goes on and on.
What happens to plants in the winter?
Plants prepare for the winter by simply stopping their growth. They do this gradually as the days become colder and shorter.
Cold hardiness, which is what plants develop to survive the winter, is also triggered during these circumstances.
That's true, but there are other types of plants that die and that are regrown in the springs. They come back every year. There are also some evergreen plants that stay green throughout the entire year.
Wow, Mom, remember how we were talking about the leaves' colors in autumn? How do trees lose them?
Oh yeah, those are deciduous trees. It's usually because it's hard for trees to maintain a good water balance during cold temperatures.
The tissues of the leaves also become damaged, so leaves tend to fall down, and as we said before, trees enter a dormant period instead of remaining active.
But how do trees know that winter is coming? Is it because of the cold?
Trees are really well adapted in their climates and their surrounding environments.
They usually don't wait for the damage to occur. Instead, they prepare for the season by losing their leaves, and nutrients are absorbed to store for later on use.
Wow, I feel like a biologist now.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
It was nice meeting you.
Bye!
What? Green? Can we try again? That are high energy, but short. This causes it to reflect a green light.
Oh my god!
Are you still filming?
No, yeah.
Okay.
No, I forgot a line.
Sorry, no, I was trying to move it closer to you.
Can I just get my report card now?
Probably.
On the...
Hi, watch out, I'm filming. Watch out.
Oh, sorry about that.
Sorry, watch out.
It's not zoomed in.
Stop it.
Okay.
Wow.
That's it.
Stop it! Stop it, you look at biology.